Hello and welcome to the Choose UCalgary podcast. I'm Virginia, and joining me on the podcast today is the university's Assistant Registrar for Student Financial Support, Joel May. Today, Joel will be providing us with some information on student loans. Thanks for joining me once again, Joel.
Hey, no problem. Thanks for having me.
So before we dive right into loans, could you tell me what the difference between loans and grants is?
The simplest way to define them are loans are monetary values that you actually have to pay back. So you'll receive some money from the government, it tends to be the government, and then you'll actually have to pay it back with interest. Whereas a grant is something that is similar to a bursary where you just get the money and don't have to pay it back. It's a benefit for sure.
And when you're applying for loans and grants, is that all through the same application?
Sure, for domestic students, so Canadian students, you apply through your province of residence. So the easiest way for any entering students who are coming straight from high school, it's the province that you're in right now during high school. So if you're from Alberta, you'll be applying through Alberta Student Aid. If you're in BC, you're applying through BC Student Aid. If you're in Ontario, it's Ontario Student Assistance Program, or OSAP. And it's one application to be eligible for loans, grants, and both some provinces have integrated loan programs, and then others have a separation between provincial and federal, but it's all submitted through that one application, through your student financial assistance area of your province.
That makes it easy for students. So what does that process applying actually look like, and how does your team, the Student Financial Support Team, play a role in the process?
Sure, the process is different depending on the province. So if you're an Alberta resident, it's the simplest because Alberta Student Aid has all of our program information already. So you apply, you select the program that you're in, it even shows the dates, and all your tuition and fees are already included in that. And then you submit your financial information as well. If it's a different province, sometimes you'll be applying and you'll have to get us to complete a program information form, or something just giving what the dates of the program are, how long the program is, what the tuition and fees for that year are, and then we provide that back to you and you send it to your funding agency, which is usually a provincial organization. When it comes to my team and our role, is we will confirm your loan. So if you're approved for a loan, we will confirm it and then you'll get the funding. So you do have to maintain full-time registration, and that's at least 9 units per term or 3 classes per term, and that's over fall and winter term, depending on your loan. But you might only get a loan for the fall, or you might only get it for the winter, or you might only get it for the spring or summer. So the majority of students get it for fall, winter, because that's normally what your study period will be for an undergraduate student. My team also looks after, if you do have to complete a program information form, we'll do that. If you take a loan and then decide not to take a loan in your second year or third year or fourth year, you'll want us to complete a interest-free form for you, so you don't have to start accumulating or start paying back your student loan. Yeah, and my team will always be there to answer questions that you might have, or really assist you in any way when it comes to any type of student financial support, whether it be loans, awards, bursaries, scholarships.
Awesome. So you've mostly been talking about students in Canada and what that looks like for them. What sort of options are available for our international students?
For international students, it really varies depending on what country you're from. So for international students, if the country you're coming from has a financial assistance program, then you apply through them, and what we do is maybe provide a confirmation of enrollment indicating that you are registered full-time here at the institution. That's really the extent that we go through. The only exception is if you're a U.S. student. If you're a U.S. student, we are actually participants in the U.S. direct loans, so you would apply through FAFSA. We also have connections with the GI Bill and Veterans Affairs, so if you are post-military in the U.S., or if you actually have more of a privatized loan through Sallie Mae, we actually do the administration of that as well.
So how much money can you actually receive from a student loan?
Student loans vary depending on your province. I can speak really to Alberta more than anything else. So if you're a single student who's living at home, the maximum you can get in in a combination of loan and grant funding, both provincial and federal combined, is $15,000. But then you can get more depending on what your situation is. So if you're not living at home, your living expenses are more, so you can get more than that. If you have dependents or are looking after other individuals in your household, sometimes you can get more than that. So it really depends on what your situation is, and your application really will look at your situation holistically. So it'll look at your living situation, it'll be looking at what resources you have, what expenses you have, and then it'll determine how much loan funding you're eligible for and what percentage or what piece will be grants or versus loans.
Okay. And as Joel mentioned, the Student Financial Support Team does loans as well as all the awards and everything at University of Calgary, so there's many options for receiving funding. I also did an episode previously with Joel on the different awards, bursaries, and scholarships available to students through the University of Calgary. So if you're looking for funding to support your education, make sure to check out that episode as well. Have you followed us on social media? Check out our channels for prospective students at Choose UCalgary on Instagram and University of Calgary Future Students on Facebook. So Joel, when should students start the process of applying for their loans?
I would start the process relatively soon. You can't actually physically or virtually apply right now. The majority of the applications for Canadian and US students are digital, so online. So I would always start by going to our website. Just go to ucalgary.ca/student-loans, and then you'll come up with all the student loan information. But most provincial applications in Canada, the application opens usually beginning to middle of June. But I would also start looking right now, because you can look at what kind of the information, if you're eligible, all of that you can determine right now, even before the application opens. So I always recommend that students do the research beforehand, before they even look at applying. And the sooner you do it, the better it is for you, so you get a better understanding of what is entailed for your application. If you're not an Alberta student, in BC it's Student ABC, in Ontario it's OSAP, in Saskatchewan it's Saskatchewan Student Finance, so just Google it, it's really simple to find, or you can go to our website to find more information. When it comes to international, unfortunately we don't have readily information about what type of options are for you outside of US students. And US students, you can actually apply for FAFSA right now. So you have the ability to know now, even before you start in fall 2021. You can look into that right now.
Awesome. So students should definitely make sure they're looking into all these things as soon as possible. And if they do need some more support with their application as they're looking into it, where can they find support?
Sure, they can contact enrollment services, so at the registrar's office here, any of the enrollment services advisors have the knowledge base in student loans to be able to help you. The other option is to go to our website, of course, and then the other option is to just go to ucalgary.ca/contact-registrar, and you'll have our contact form, and you can actually add your questions there.
Perfect. We'll include all these links in the episode notes for people who are looking to learn more, so make sure to look for them there.
And then for those looking for more information about student loans and the student loan process and what it kind of looks like, I will actually be hosting a webinar in February, on February 10th. So please keep an eye out on Choose and look under events, and you'll be able to register for it there.
That concludes our episode today. If you're looking for more information, as we've said, please visit the links in the episode description. I've also included the link to register for the Student Loans webinar hosted by Joel on February 10th. Thanks for listening and have a great day.